Hello, everyone. It is Thursday, March 14th, 2024. It is Pi Day, and we got something brewing here in the market. So let's take a look at what our D1 chart is looking like. We're still in this strong uptrend. We still know what to watch out for. We got the PPI today, which we'll get to in a second. We are watching for the FOMC next week. And then after that, we will have earnings seasons early in April, probably in another month or so. If we pull up our JPM chart, yep, earnings on 4/23. So they will usually be kicking off the earnings season. Yeah, Wells Fargo in about a month. So that's something we're looking for on the horizon. If we look at our long-term technical, we've obviously seen the very strong uptrend. The price action was nice and tight over here. And then, as we've been noting in the past video, in the last month or so, it's gotten a little bit loose, which doesn't mean we are not bullish. It just means we are less bullish. So instead of being 10 out of 10 bullish, I would say I am more of a 8 out of 10 bullish, or I like to use 1, 2, and 3. So 1 is mildly bullish, 3 is go, go, go bullish, and 2 is like pretty bullish. So I would say I'd go from a 3 over here to a 2 over here. All right, and then it's good to ask yourself, well, what would like a 1 look like? Well, maybe a 1 would be something like this, right, where we have some bullish action, but a lot of period of indecision, and something like this would be a 0, right? The market has just been going absolutely nowhere in those past couple of months. All right, so now that we have this kind of laid out here, let's take a look at what's happening on a shorter term time frame. We've talked about the looseness, and what I've noticed is just more of the volatility in the market, right? We've had big swings up, big swings down, big swings up, big swings down, and I think a H1 chart shows that a little bit more clearly. We are making progress up, but we are having deeper retracements down. New all-time high, test this level. New all-time high, test this level. New all-time high, and then we're getting some selling today off of a hot PPI, so there's some reaction here. Let's get into what's going on with this PPI business. So let's take a look at the extended hours. Market was up, and it actually made, I believe, I think it was an all-time high in the extended hours. I could be wrong here, but after yesterday had a strong gap up with some overseas strength. Here's the PPI reaction at 8:30, and because it was hot, it was pretty bearish. However, we still opened slightly above yesterday's close, so we were still bullish on the day, but negative reaction to those hot numbers. Then, a little bit of indecision, long red candle here at 9:45, and some follow-through selling to break through the low of the day. We had a long bearish hammer, and it triggered some sell stops, I believe. So after this huge move, this is quite bearish, but it happened very, very fast, and I think it got a little bit overextended. So we knew we would get a pullback. We had to gauge to see what the selling pressure would look like. So here we're seeing a lot of heavy volume, some long candles here, mixed bars, but as long as we're holding the halfway point of this long red candle, in my opinion, or most of the move, let's look at the M15 chart for this. I think it paints a good picture. As long as we hold half of this candle on this M15, we still have a bearish bias. It means that buyers can't push the price up because sellers are willing to unload at this level. So we have this move up over here, and we're just compressing near yesterday's low, back and forth choppiness. And I've drawn this wedge just to give a little bit of clarity as to what is happening here. As we move up over here, we try to challenge the halfway point. We get smacked down. We form this nice bullish bar. Okay, I thought that was a nice sign of a lower high, but in my opinion, we needed to clear this level and really eat away at this long green candle. If we couldn't do that, it tells me that buyers aren't engaged. Now, we could still do that, right? But if we haven't done that, to me, I can't really feel comfortable staying on the long side because I haven't seen enough evidence that buyers are in control of this move. So if I had to rank my intraday bias, it would be probably a 1 bearish, We had this long move and we can't get above, but there's also a lot of volatility and the longer term bias is pretty bullish. So it adds some context. We know that buyers will be wanting to scoop up at this price. So knowing all this, what do we do? Well, if you're not comfortable shorting, I would not do anything here. I would just wait for the market to find support. It could take a while. If this level holds again and we see a surge higher, this bear cycle doesn't produce, it's pretty benign, and we get a good bullish cross, you can take some starter longs in some great stocks. I'm going to point out two right here. So this will be one of my picks with the caveats. And I'm going to give, I think, one or two day trade picks. I'm giving some longer term swing picks because I'm trying those out. But obviously, we can't evaluate those picks in the next couple of days because the time horizon is so short. So, or sorry, is so long, not so short. So I also want to give some day trade picks that we can evaluate. And since I'm working on PDSing, or not PDSing, but at the money debit spreads, and also scaling in and out of day trades, those are some examples and possibilities that I can work on. So Microsoft here, completely ignorant to what the market's doing, right? Held really well during the volatility and has been steadily climbing higher. So when it pulls back to this 8 EMA, this is a really nice entry point, provided that the market holds the low of the day, right? If it breaks the low of the day, Microsoft, no matter how strong it is going to sink. We have this high plus trend line coming into play. Seems to be some reaction to it. But in my opinion, I don't think it's a very strong line of resistance. And I would personally um, feel okay taking a call debit spread at this level. But we need to see support hold from the market. This bearish cycle has to be benign, and we have to hold this level around 514, this candle right here. If we start to break through, it'll just mean we'll take way more time to find support. I view this, and one thing you should be doing is finding your intraday scenarios and how they could change. But I'm mildly bearish here, but I know what would make me bullish, or mildly bullish. I know what would make me very bullish, right? If we saw a strong reaction with stack green candles that blew through the high of the day and made a new all-time high, that would put me on the bullish side, right? I would maybe be a two bullish. But if we got a stacked red candle, but we tested this high of the day and we were unable to break through, then I knew we were in for a volatile chop day. I should look to take quicker. I should look to enter on these reversals and take quicker moves and expect quicker moves. So far, we haven't seen anything that puts us on the buy mode right now, where we're watching for the signs. And what I want to see is we break through this level. We break through this high of this candle. That's the level that I want to see. If we can break and close there, it means we have formed a base after this big drop, and we are ready to move up higher. What I could see is a bullish reversal late in the day after we compress for a while and we soak up all of the supply. Buyers and sellers are paired off. We start to make them move higher, and then we have a nice grind up and we close near the high of the day to form a nice bullish hammer on the D1. So that's the other scenario I'm watching out for. And it really all depends if we can make a new low of the day on this bearish cycle. That's what I need to see, or at least challenge that level and see if buyers are still willing to step up to the plate and buy over here. Okay, so all that being said, market context is a one bearish. We have some opportunities to take some trades. So one trade I liked here was ENPH. So you can see as the market has been grinding up, this stock has been flat. It's been flat since December while the market's been running up higher. So not the most bearish chart, but it does set up very nice for a shorter term trading opportunity. So we see here it breaks through the earning gap and it breaks through the SMA. It had some steady selling, this nice double top lower high, and breaking through this compression level. So a lot of great things happening in ENPH. And I don't think that's the most bearish D1 chart. A really bearish D1 chart will be something like iRobot. This is an excellent D1 chart that is very, very bearish, and you could swing this, but I would not do that for ENPH. I think it sets up for a shorter term opportunity because we are looking to mainly stick to day trading or short overnight swings for the short side. So drops with the market today, and here's the tell on this big move up here from 10 to 10:30. This compresses at the low of the day and starts to break through. It has been steadily grinding down, and we have some room until the 100 SMA around the $110 level. So our M5 stock bias is a 3 bearish. Our D1 stock bias, I'd say, is maybe a 2. It's not the most bearish, but it's definitely and certainly not bullish. You would not want to go long here. So a PDS sets up very well. I took the 113, 110 PDS that was at the money right around here for a 130 debit. And I would target the 100 SMA over here. I think you can get maybe 40% today if it hits that level. So that's what I'm watching out for. Now, the main thing that can throw a wrench in our plans is, one, we get a bounce off the SMA, which we're already planning for, and we plan to take profits there, so it's not an issue. The second thing is if the market decides to start, if it really finds support and starts to climb higher, as long as the stock is performing and it's showing relative weakness, and then we can stick with the trade. When it starts to lose its relative weakness on a day that is, kind of, it's kind of iffy, um, market starts being flat, stocks start being flat, then we have to be careful because we're losing our edge and we need to get out of the trade. So I have my target there, but I know what I would need to see in the stock and what I need to see in the market in order to stick with the trade. It still has to perform. So ENPH would be my day trade pick for today. Let's take a quick look at our positions. Oops. Here we go. Okay. PCS on Morgan Stanley. Morgan Stanley looking pretty nice here. We still have another week out. Has a nice pop yesterday and it's been holding those gains, which is great. We don't need to do amazing, but we don't want it to fall back in the range. So I like how it had this test and this strong move higher. I was actually not expecting this, so this is a fortuitous move that works in our favor. Okay, Wells Fargo, we have a deep in the money call that we took around here. So that is down slightly, but Wells Fargo is not selling off hard, and it is a steady grinder. We have plenty of time for earnings, so I'm not worried about this one either. Our TNUS PCS, we're taking a little bit of heat here. We're grinding and finding support at this level around 62.50. So I have an alert set if it breaks above that level. One thing you have to be careful here is if the short strike goes in the money, right? So we have the 62.50, 160 PCS. The short strike's in the money. You could be assigned, and so you could be short, or sorry, you could be long 100 shares of TMUS and still have the long put. So just watch out for any assignment risk because we're very close to being in the money, and we also have not a lot of days to expiration. So this Thursday and Friday is really when you have to be careful. I actually took a loss on my MCD PCS because I was assigned on the short puts and had to exercise the long puts in order to close out the spread. Okay, LIN looking very nice, pretty much holding the gains, and this is what you want to see on a stock when the market is down so much, completely flat, not doing anything. So I'm going to set alert at the high of the day. That's what I like doing a swing, so that's how I monitor them and to see how they're doing. ASML is still holding the line. It's testing this this lower level right here. Not crazy worried about this, so let's see if it can do anything here. I think it just has to soak up a lot of the supply, and we have time before earnings. Netflix was very strong today. So Netflix actually was actually slightly in profit earlier in the morning. We got a nice long green candle here, and then it really kind of just slopped down with the market. It's been decent. It's not been the best, but I like this action here. I think if the market wasn't so weak, we could have had a nice move up, but it's slowly starting to climb higher, and you can see this 8 EMA slightly sloping up, right? That tells us that, okay, the trend has slowed down, but we're still looking pretty good. I'm expecting a compression break to the upside sometime soon. So we are really watching for when that happens. So ENPF is our day trade short. Now, if things get bullish, I'm going to give you a long pick. And what I really like here is Google broke through. So first of all, again, ignored this move down, moved up higher, had his SMA, tested this, had some nice flat bottom greens, inching up higher, while market's doing what? Market's doing absolutely nothing. Google is powering high. We have relative strength. We have heavy volume. We have a technical breakout. Um, it's looking pretty nice. So I would take a nice starter position. I think a call debit spread on Google works pretty well. Maybe the 144, maybe the 144, 145 call debit spread. I think that can work well. But we need to see this market find support over here. It's going to take some time for that supply. So if the market finds support, Google is my long pick of the day. If the market doesn't find support, then I would be sticking with ENPH. So I'm going to put Google here. And I'll keep these as day trades only, right? I think the market is kind of in a volatile, choppy position. And I believe the action is going to die down soonish next week because we have the FOMC coming up on Wednesday. Those are our picks for the day. And I'm trying to see if there's anything else I can really talk about. Some parabolic charts going on here. Yeah, we'll keep an eye on the market. We'll see how that does, and we'll evaluate all these picks tomorrow and see how our day trades did. So thanks for watching, everyone, and I will catch you all in the next video.